Hey y'all, Rowan here. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new here, welcome. If you've never been here before, I am glad that you have decided to hang out with me for a little bit. If you have been here before, welcome back. Today I have no idea what we're doing. I thought maybe we could just sort of play with decks that I have. I would like to play with the Tarot as Vampires and maybe the Couture Tarot and the, I don't know. We're just going to play today, right? Like, I want to make a video. I don't know what I want to make a video about. I just kind of want to make a video. So the Tarot of Vampyres has been something I've been working with a lot lately for the sake of study. This deck, here, let me show you some of the artwork. We get the Fool right on top. I love it when that happens. This deck is very Interview with a Vampire. It's very 2003. It's very Underworld. I love this deck, though. It is one of the recent purchases of mine that really surprised me. I did not think it would resonate with me as hard as it does, and yet it does. It's a Thoth-based deck, so I've been using it to learn Thoth alongside my Pocket Swiss Army deck, which is the pocket size of the Thoth. I do have a lot more fun with the Tarot as Vampyres guidebook, which is called Phantasmagoria. I have a lot more fun with that than I do with Aleister Crowley's actual writing about the Thoth. I do also like Lon Milo DuQuette's writing about Aleister Crowley's writing about the Thoth. I think he's pretty clever and funny, and I enjoy when he brings his fictional rabbi into things. But I really enjoy Ian Daniels' writings as well. I think he does a great job of tying the Thoth, the Rider-Waite-Smith expectations of tarot, and the concept of vampires all together. So let's play with this deck for a little bit. I've given it a shuffle. Let's go ahead and split it. Now, I don't have a lot of oracles in my collection that I think are going to do well with this deck, but I would like to start with the Pocket Archetypes. So if you have been on my channel before, you probably know that I am a huge fanboy of the original Wild Unknown Archetypes book by, deck by Kim Kranz, and when the pocket size was announced, I added it to my Amazon wish list basically immediately. And then when it dropped, I took my sweet time in buying it. I don't know why. I guess because I already owned it, I really had to justify it to myself. But recently I had like a little bit of a ace of coins moment, a little bit of financial boon, and so I was able to go ahead and justify springing on this bad boy to myself. So I now own the pocket version of my favorite oracle deck. So that rules. Literally, okay, so before we get into this, I just want to mention right now, hold on. So this is my Tarot on the Go bag. It also houses my makeup stuff. So this is my magic / makeup kit. Right now I have my on-the-go Oracle and Tarot kit is the Pocket Archetypes Oracle, the Mixed Metaphor Mixed Media deck that I made myself, which is available on Make Playing Cards. I will link it below. The Bicycle Marquee Purple Playing Card deck. I am in love with this deck of playing cards. And then my pocket edition of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. My playing card size version, right? I mean, you know what it looks like. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but it says playing cards with a slightly sepia tone. I don't know what to tell you. It looks a lot like the Centennial, but drabber, and I love it. It gives me saloon vibes. Anyways, right now I've been operating with these in my on-the-go bag, and I just love this as a fortune-telling kit. I have an Archetypes deck, my own Oracle deck, so it's like very connected to me. I have a Bicycle playing card deck for the more numerological based divination playing card. If I want to pull in a little bit of Marseille action, I can use these bad boys. And then I have my Rider-Waite-Smith. So this is my current on-the-go kit, and I am in love with it. But today, I want to play with the Tarot as Vampyres and then probably another deck a little bit later on. Honestly, I don't know what we're going to do here. I just wanted, like I said before, I just wanted to make a video. So I'm shuffling the Archetypes again. We'll put that one on top, and let's get into it. So we start off with Justice, the Seven of Scepters, and the Nectar. Ooh, okay. So first I'm going to go into the guidebook for the pocket archetypes. The Nectar is number 58. Let's see here. 58. Roman numerals, like something just clicked for me and suddenly I'm able to read Roman numerals with like very little stress. I don't know where that came from, but it did, and I'm here for it. I am all about this skill that I now have. Still can't read a clock, but Roman numerals I got down. All right, so the Nectar says the medicine, the elixir, the garden. In Hindu mythology, there is a miraculous substance known as amrit, or nectar, that contains infinite healing power. This golden nectar, or sacred elixir, is the drink of immortality, and like its sister substance, soma, is known to activate subtle, intelligent forces that ease the mind, body, and spirit. Though esoteric, these images lead us to the central energy of this archetype, the sweet, potent, heavenly essence that lubricates our spirit back to life. Not a good enough reason to use the word lubricate. The Nectar card calls us to identify and relish in places, practices, people, and activities that regenerate and heal. Medicine is needed, and it comes in subtle form that you may be overlooking. Seek the most sensuous, fragrant flower in the garden that you have forgotten. Don't underestimate this remedy. It is said when someone has activated this substance within, it is reflected in their shimmering eyes. Then on the other side, it gives us the red text. Sense the nectar within you, dripping from the crown of the head and soothing the brain. Let it drip down the spine like sweet honey. And then the mirror text to that is the Nectar, the Mystic, and Aletha cross cards and Aletha are linked. It is the mystic who, like Krishna, turns poison into nectar, and it is truth that can often serve as a potent elixir for healing. And then the when light is glowing, relaxed, subtle illumination, and when dark, fixation on fixing, aggressive approach to healing. Go deeper, The Wind One Brilliant Day by Antonio Machado. So that's what it has to say for the Nectar. So this idea of like this potent healing that you get from the environment, this essence, this syrup that is derived from nature. And then Justice. So we all know what justice means, but let's go ahead and look into Ian Daniels' guidebook for some information on justice according to his perspective. Oh, that's right. Justice is back here in this deck. Here we go. So it says, Alchemy, the zodiacal trump of Libra, Venus rules, Saturn exalted, connects Gebra with Tipperoth on the Tree of Life. Kindred spirits, the daughter of the Lords of Truth, the ruler of the balance. Essence, the law of karma, centering, balance and equilibrium, healing, precise judgment and coordination, equality, fairness, and being impartial, finding our inner center with full awareness and objective perception. Destiny, accepting past actions and setting a new course. Wisdom, legal matters, acquiring rewards, and being accountable. Composure. I don't like keywords. I'm going to be real. Keywords can be helpful, and while I would probably make a deck with keywords in the guidebook, I don't find them to be nearly as helpful as the write-up. So let's get into the message. This card stands for clear and objective perception. It is about observing and balancing factors relating to our question. It is time for responsibilities to be accepted, accounts settled, and to turn away from external action to become clearer about our internal motives. This may pertain to a particular issue or to a more general well-being. The result of attaining the equilibrium contained in the card is a feeling of purpose and calm, leading to an inner understanding of our destiny. Often, the Justice card speaks directly to healing because it's about keeping systems functioning in unison. In this case, the physical system of our bodies, such as food intake, blood flow, and the nervous system. The Justice card reveals that we are in a situation where we must be fair, impartial, and seek out the truth. This may involve issues of legality or an issue in which we must act as a mediator. In many cases, this card appears when we are being compelled to act as a counselor, either for another or for ourselves in relation to the subject of the reading. Justice often appears when we are concerned with doing what is right or making sure we receive our due. It may be that we need to bring a situation into equilibrium, or that we must first compose and center ourselves in order to move forward. And then it goes on to talk about karma, universal balance, and the flow of karma. And then it gets into the analysis or the symbolism of the card itself. And then it gives you the shadow information of like you treating someone else unjustly and unfairly. It does say that this card is ruled by Venus with Saturn exalted, and it is a card of Libra. So it's a very feminine card with qualities of healing and inner peace, giving it a slow and precise nature. Connecting her with the mechanics of the earth. She is never satisfied, constantly makes adjustments, yada yada, center of past and present. He goes on. Let's take a look at the Seven of Scepters. Flipping to it now. So, like, my initial impulse, the Seven of Scepters is all about standing your ground, fighting the good fight, having the high ground, etc. So it says alchemy, Mars and Leo, victory or netzach. I am so sorry for all of my mispronunciation of Hebrew words. I am ignorant. Victory, netzach of fire, absorption of spiritual creativity, and then the kindred spirits are Masahaya and Lelale. The I'm here. Let me just show you. Lelahel. There we go. Okay. The absorption of will, valor, defiance, daring, taking risks, attacking from a defensive position, steadfast resistance, tenacity, bravery, quick reactions, the power of regeneration, rivals, holding an immovable position, convictions, opposition, defending our beliefs or actions, expressing our own reality, and taking a stand. Then, the message itself, I'll read you the first paragraph. The Seven of Scepters denotes valor, a force that is both defiant and aggressive, and I'm pretty sure valor is just straight up the keyword for the Seven of Scepters in the Thoth. If you're a Thoth baby, let me know if I'm wrong. It is a defensive attack and represents our fighting spirit. Its nature is one of daring and audacity, producing a countering force of undaunted resistance. We must take a risk in order for the battle to be won, and must fight tooth and nail with tenacity and fearlessness. This card also tells that it is time to dare, to throw caution to the wind, and to take a leap of faith. The card also urges us to defend our position. We must express our personal stance in the situation with honesty and openness. A major theme of the Seven of Scepters is one of resistance. This could be against a rival or opposing position, in defending our convictions, or in a rebellion against the external world. From an inner perspective, it can indicate that we need to stand against or resist thoughts or feelings that are dispersing our powers. In general, it is about facing our fears or facing and defeating our inner demons. The card implores us to rise above ourselves, to take a risk, and to trust our instincts, or to make one last stand. The victories won in the past have increased our powers, but now we face an obstacle or opponent that is equal to us in prowess or ability. Here we must condense all our reserves into a fist of determination and strike out, or dig in our heels in order to resist an attack. This regenerating process expands our scope of power and self-belief beyond ourselves. He goes on to continue to talk about conflict, opposing powers, never being good enough, what would motivate somebody, yada, yada, yada. And then after the analysis of the card, there's the shadow keywords, which Ian Daniels gives as cowardice, timidity, trepidation, weakness, indecisiveness, hesitancy, or resignation because of fear or a lack of self-confidence, ignorance, aggression or bullying, inflexibility or bigotry, quarreling or overreactions, threats, obstinacy, stubbornness or pretense, losing faith or retreating, lashing out in anger, and submission. So what I'm getting here is that somebody has been fundamentally wronged in a way that has impacted their mental or physical health. And now it is necessary for them to not only insist that they were correct and that justice needs to be served, but also that healing has to take place. And oh, good gracious, this is what I get for drinking vodka lemonade. Healing has to be a process that is undergone, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be really painful, and it's going to require knowing that you're correct and pursuing the application of that knowledge. So not only have you been wronged, but you have to now move forward as part of the healing process with finding justice for yourself. So justice may not be through the legal system. It may be coming to terms with it on your own, not taking matters into your own hand. Let me be clear. I'm not talking about vigilantism. I'm just talking about self-love and self-support. But there's ultimately a need for balance that has to be executed. So you've been fighting for a long time. Once you are at the point where you can trust you no longer need to fight anymore, it's absolutely necessary that you flipped that script and go into yourself and spend some time healing and dealing with yourself. That is how I would read these. That was fun. That was a fun little reading. Do we want to do another, or do I want to play with some other decks? Let's do one more. We get the Nine of Knives, the Underworld, and the Lord of Skulls. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I'm going to take a pause to read the guidebooks for these, and then I'll be back and we'll talk about what this means. All right? All right. Okay, we've got our Nine of Knives, our Underworld, and our Lord of Skulls. I've read the guidebooks. Okay, I don't normally need to read the guidebooks when I do these videos. I just sort of work intuitively. I go off the dome. I'm just riffing, boys. But when I work with the Tarot of Vampyres, I always feel so called to work with the guidebook because it's so informative. And because I'm not super familiar with Thoth, I want to spend my time learning the Thoth when I use this deck rather than just using it as an RWS. Or using it numerologically. Like, I want to bring in the level of thelema and esotericism that Crowley established. But I love bringing it in through the voice of Ian Daniels instead. It's a lot better that way, personally. Anyway, Nine of Knives, the Underworld, and Lord of Skulls. This idea of being... okay, so in the book Phantasmagoria, the Nine of Knives doesn't represent anxiety or fear so much as the manifestation of your own thoughts against you. So if the 10 of Knives is you being at rock bottom, stabbed in the back a bajillion times, the 9 of Knives is when your feet hit rock bottom. Before you've been stabbed, before you've been kicked while you're down, before it's gotten to the worst of the worst. You think that it has already gotten to the worst of the worst. You think that your fears are manifesting, but boy howdy, you don't even know how bad it can get yet. That's kind of the energy that I got from the guidebook for this one. And then the Lord of Skulls is all about working hard, reaping the rewards therefore, and staying away from emotional or intellectual influence, just doing the work, according to the guidebook. And then the Underworld in the guidebook is all about like the darkest of dark places that you can possibly go, the scariest of places you can descend, this idea of descending into the gross and ugly parts of yourself, into the gross and ugly parts of humanity, and into the gross and ugly parts of the earth herself. So we get the Nine of Knives, the Underworld, and the Lord of Skulls. That's like the bajillionth time I've said that. But what it means here is that there has been recently some heavy duty shadow work, some therapeutic work that has been going on. And while it has opened up a lot of wounds that have left you feeling raw, scared, and maybe a bit defensive in the face of any show of love, you still have work to do with regards to these wounds that you've opened up. You need to stop paying attention to what you think about who has done this, that, or the other. You need to stop paying attention to how you feel about this, that, or the other. And you need to do the active work. In here, that might be facing your fears. That might be exposure therapy. That might be journaling. That might be... I don't even know what do they actually do for fears and anxiety besides giving you pills. I don't know. Breathing exercises, that doesn't really work for me. I'm not going to lie. But the whole point here is that you have already descended into this scary, terrifying place, and it's really taking a toll on your existence. The only way to get through it is going to be to do the work. Stop having expectations. Stop having wants. Stop wanting the outcome, the present. Stop wanting anything to be a certain way, to give you a certain thing, to present itself in a certain light. Stop having expectation and just take every moment as it is. Do the work, feel the hurt, move through it, and that's how you get over it. So that would be the reading I take there. Let's go ahead and pull some different decks. I know that was only 2 readings, but I spend a lot of time with the Tarot of Vampyres and with the unknown archetypes, because they're just those kind of decks where the guidebooks need to be part of the equation. So let me put these bad boys away and I'll be right back. I don't even know if I'm going to like this pairing, guys, but let's go ahead and try the Couture Tarot and the Outlaw Oracle, right? Let's give it a shot. They're both sort of photography. The Couture Tarot is it's a collage deck made entirely of fashion photography. And the Outlaw Oracle is a photography deck made entirely of outlaw photography. Hillary Banks Self has commented on a couple of my videos so far, and most of the photography in the deck is hers, and I just have to say she's a great photographer. I've got my issues with this deck in that I try really hard to get it to resonate with me, and it really only sings when it wants to. I want it to work a lot more often than it does, but it only sometimes works with me. I've made a whole video on this deck. If you want to go watch it, I really like this deck. I'm happy I have it, but I don't know if I would recommend other people to purchase it unless you already know you want it, you know? So that's where I stand with it. But we're going to do the Outlaw in the center and then the Couture Tarot on the side. I am going to show y'all how the Couture shuffles just because it's big, right? You wouldn't think you could riffle it, but you absolutely can, and you don't even have to corner riffle it. Watch this. Beautiful. Oh, okay, maybe that wasn't. That's my B. Okay, don't blame it on the Couture. That was all me. That was all me. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. So even though the cards are large, and I'm pretty sure they're made of art paper rather than cardstock, it's still a good shuffle. You just want to be careful with it is all. There we go. Yeah. So then we'll do a little hand over hand and split that bad boy. I really enjoy the way the backs of these decks look together, but then I like the way the back of the Outlaw Oracle looks with just about any deck. I think that the backs of this deck are freaking stunning. Absolutely 10 of 10. I love the Outlaw Oracle's aesthetics, top to bottom, and quite frankly, its tactile experience as well. Let's get into it. So we have Death, the Page of Pentacles, and Saloon, Escapism, Good Times, and Hideout. Something has ended lately, and you are finding yourself once again at the bottom of a bottle. This is contrary to the way that you would rather live your life, and if you are able to tap into this Page of Pentacles constant student energy, you'll be able to walk away from the idea of drinking and instead enjoy the good times of the saloon for what it is. The lessons that you need to learn here in the ending of whatever you're facing are very important. Page of Pentacles is definitely that bookworm energy, so maybe while drinking is normal for you, you don't normally turn to the friendship of others. Maybe you're normally a little bit more introverted, a little bit more head in the books, a little bit more watching TV at home. And recently, because you're dealing with this disruption, this ending that has come your way, you find yourself drinking in public. And perhaps now is a time to go ahead and create a found family to support you as you go through this death. That isn't to say that you should just start finding people and being like, hey, you're going to be my support structure. You're my new therapy dog. No, more like take the friends that you already have, take the acquaintances you've already made, and consolidate them and strengthen them to the point where you have this escapism that doesn't require the alcohol. You feel me? We get the Four of Pentacles, Longhorn, and the Moon. Four of Pentacles being all about, like, luxury, if you read it in the Thoth way, but miserliness in the RWS way, which in my opinion are just two sides of the same coin. Longhorn, solidarity, strength, and what does this side text say? Looking out for others. Can you see that? And then the Moon, this dark night of the soul, this moving through the valley of the shadow of death. The idea that things are not what they seem when the lights are off. So we have material stability combined with fear of losing it. We have moving through an unknown part of your life that requires you to accept that what you thought you knew is different. And this idea of being all alone and being all the stronger for it. And protecting the herd that you are not accepted as part of. So to me, this really speaks to this idea that you are in a financial or material position of some kind. Perhaps you're in a living situation that is new to you. You are in some kind of material, perhaps it could be a job, but no matter what, this place that you are is scary. It's not easy to be in this new place. It's not something that's necessarily happy. It might not necessarily be sad either, but it's a difficult transition that you're making, and you feel really all alone as you make it. You're not necessarily doing well with this transition, but the fact of the matter is it's a good time for you to reassess your worldly haves and have-nots, establish where your priorities are, and establish what is important to you, because the big wide world outside is currently like completely lost in shadow. And if you want to protect that which is important to you, whether this be people, material goods, position in society, etc. If you want to protect that which is important to you, you really need to understand that you're alone in this, but you have the strength and ability to do it anyways. And what you do for yourself has the potential to be good for other people as well. So I do believe that there's a place here for you to find the balance between those things. Okay? Okay. I don't want to do too many reads for each deck because I don't want this to like become an official video about any one deck. So we're going to go ahead and move on after just those two, just like we did for the last one. I'm looking over my decks now, trying to figure out what I want to play with next. Let's see. I really love the Couture Tarot. It's so good. It just really sings to me. I don't necessarily... like, I can't speak to it yet. I don't have a review up yet for a reason. I'm still bonding with it. We're still getting to know each other, but so far I thoroughly enjoy this deck. Let's go ahead and use the Surrealist Tarot. That's another new one I've gotten in my collection that I haven't had opportunity to play with really online yet. So we'll do that one next. I'll be right back. Okay, let's take a play with the Surrealist Tarot and my own deck, Mixed Metaphor, Mixed Media. This is a combination that I have been obsessed with since I first tried it out. These two go so well together. I really hope they sing for us today because they usually sing for me when I use them alone. So let's take a look here. We get the Six of Pentacles, the Magician, and Inseminate, Contaminate. Interesting. This was the card that I actually drew today. And so it's fun to see it end up at the top of the stack despite my shuffling. So Six of Pentacles, this idea of charity, of sharing, of gift giving, of taking what is yours and spreading it around. Combined with the Magician, this idea of having all of the tools that you need. You just have to properly combine them in the right ways to manifest them. Perhaps a little bit of trickery combined there as well. And Inseminate, Contaminate. So the things that you give to others fundamentally change the world around you. And if you would just be so generous as to share the natural gifts that you have with everyone around you, you're going to be able to spread and build power through your own ethos, right? So what does that look like? What does that mean? Let me put this in plain terms. People trust you when you talk. People believe you when you say something. And because of this, you have an ability right now to, I don't want to say spread the gospel or the good word because that's got such a negative connotation in my mind, but you have this opportunity to almost proselytize to people. Don't, but use your powers carefully is what I'm getting at. Like, I would not recommend proselytizing. I would, however, recommend being kind. I would, however, recommend sharing what you have in abundance. And perhaps sharing what you have if it only barely meets your needs as well. Because ultimately your needs are going to be met. And now is a time for giving and receiving gifts. So allow yourself to receive the gifts of others and allow yourself to return those gifts to the eternal chain of gift giving, if that makes sense. You don't have to re-gift those specific things, but you know, what was that movie? Oh, good gracious. It's like, it's a thing from my childhood. It was a movie that was really popular. It was like about passing along good vibes, and a bunch of people started Starbucks paying chains. because of it. I don't know. I never actually watched the film, and I never will. So there's that. Next reading. Ace of Swords, Four of Pentacles, and Wooden Spoon Metal Knife. So Ace of Swords, fresh conflict, but fresh learning. You're going through something, you've learned a lesson recently, something like that. Four of Pentacles, once again, we come back to this idea of having what you need, but being very stingy with it. And then Wooden Spoon, Metal Knife, all the ways in which we hurt each other that are sometimes obvious and sometimes not. So right now, you think that preserving your world, preserving your material halves is going to overall benefit you, but what you're actually doing is causing pain and strife to the people around you who need help. You are currently smacking the people who love you with a metal spoon or with a wooden spoon because you are being too busy hiding everything away. You think that because you're not using the knife to harm people around you, the Ace of Swords is just a metal spoon or just a wooden spoon. You think that that means that keeping things to yourself and being stingy is not going to actively harm the people around you. But the fact is, it's not a victimless crime. You have people who depend on you, who need you, and right now you're not sharing the way that you need to. I don't know if this means that you're taking care of someone or that you just have a friend in class who really needs that piece of gum that you won't share. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, you are actively harming the people around you with the way you are treating your material world, and you're not learning the lesson from it at this time, but you have the potential to learn that lesson and avoid the conflict. Okay? Thank you. What next? I don't know. Is that enough? Have we played enough? I'm going to call this the end of the video. I could go and get my Zerner Farber out and just make it like an all haul kind of video, but I don't have an oracle deck that I want to pair with the Zerner Farber at this time. I want to do like a dedicated playing with pairs with that deck, so we're not going to pull that bad boy out, even though it's another one that I've recently obtained. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today. I hope this wasn't underwhelming. This is not my usual video. Usually I like to have some kind of structure here. This is more akin to when I first started making videos several months ago in the back of my car. I say that like I've grown so much since then, and I guess in some ways I have, but in other ways I've just taken some huge steps backwards. So, I don't know. We're trying here, party people. I've been going through personal stuff, and if you've been watching my videos, you know that there's something in my personal life that I don't want to talk about that has been causing me grief and tearing up my ability to focus and get things done. And so I just needed to make a video where I farted around and had some fun with cards, you know? So thank you so much for hanging out. There will be more content on Mixed Metaphor, Mixed Media, more content on the Couture Tarot. If you would like to see proper dedicated videos to the Tarot of Vampyres or to the Surrealist Tarot, please let me know down below. I do have some future video ideas coming up. They're just waiting for certain things to align before I proceed with those ideas. I did recently get the Color Visions Oracle, so keep an eye out for content on that bad boy if you're interested. I will have review and stuff like that coming up soonish. Thank you so much for hanging out. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed and you like my videos and want to see more of them. Or if you don't know if you want to subscribe yet, I recommend going to my channel and following the thread, seeing if there are any other videos that speak to you, and maybe then you'll feel more confident in subscribing or not subscribing, right? If you have something to say about this video, if you want to call me stinky, if you want to say that I should stop drinking vodka lemonades on camera because it ruins the youth, please feel free to comment down below. I love to hear everything you say, even when it's full of hot air and falsities. Not that any of you have commented anything full of hot air and falsities insofar, but you never know. You never know. The day may be tomorrow where this video breaks out of its little niche and the big wide world sees it and I get inundated with comments, lol, kill yourself, whore. I don't know. I've been drinking. Have a good night. I love you all. Mwah. Bye.